Hey everybody, it's Jill for today, and I am making a pot roast in my Instant Pot tonight. My mother worked full-time when we were kids back in the 60s, and when she came home she'd have to fix dinner. Now, she didn't have an Instant Pot back then, but she had a pressure cooker, which scared me to death because I knew it would blow up. Of course, with Instant Pots now, there's no fear at all. And my mother never blew up the kitchen, but she always made a great pot roast in her pressure cooker. So I'm going to bring you on down and we're going to get started. I have my Instant Pot heating up here, and I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. Okay, I've got it on saute, and I've got it on the high setting. And I'm going to put in about a tablespoon of olive oil there. And I have just a little over 3 pounds of a sirloin tip roast here, which I have salted and peppered, little garlic powder on all 4 sides. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to brown this off. Probably take me about 10 minutes. I'm going to turn it. Once I see it start to brown, I'll turn it until I have all 4 sides nicely brown, and then I will bring you back for the next step. Okay, this has taken about 10 minutes. I've browned all 4 sides, and now I'm going to start adding all of the aromatics and the broth. So I'm going to switch it off right now because I'm going to be switching it to the manual mode here. I'm putting in a few carrots, some celery, and some onion. That's about half of an onion, carrot, stalk of celery, and then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, which I'm just going to kind of just smear around there, like so. And as my mother always said, there's nothing that a can of mushroom soup can't fix. And she would use a lot of mushroom soup back then. And so I'm going to put in a can of good old cream of mushroom soup. Okay. And then I'm going to add a good 3 or 4 shakes of Worcestershire sauce. And I will finish it off with about 1.5 cups, 1 3/4 of beef stock. And this is my Better Than Bouillon beef stock. Alright, that looks good. That moisture is about halfway up the roast. And that's about where I like to see it. And I'm just going to take a spoon here and just kind of mix it up a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to put my lid on. My thing is here, come on. Get on there. There we go. I'm going to put my lid on. I'm going to put it on sealed, no vent, on sealed. I'm going to set it on meat, the meat setting, and I'm going to give it 1 hour. And after, here we go. Oh, right. And after 1 hour, I'm going to bring you out here so I can talk to you. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and let it cook on meat for 1 hour. And what the meat setting does, and actually any of those other settings like soup, and they all cook manual. But what it does is it takes a little more time bringing it up to temperature and up to full steam, you know, so you get that pressure. It's just a little gentler on soup or meat or, you know, whatever, but it still is a manual. It's just the way that it heats up. It's the big difference. So anyway, I'm going to put this on for 1 hour. Once it's done, I'm going to let it sit for 10 minutes. And then I'll quick release it, and we will come back and see what's going on in there, and we'll go to the next step. So we'll be back. We are back, and I just took the lid off my pot. I'm going to bring it down so you can see it. I'm going to tighten you in there. Look at this. Okay, so this cooked for 1 hour, like I said, and what I need to do is I'm going to remove this roast, and I'm going to strain off some of this extra liquid get some of that fat out of there. I want to drain off all the vegetables, get rid of those, and then I'm going to make a gravy with some of this juice, broth, and the mushroom soup. And so I'm going to put this, like I said, put this in a plate and drain this off, and we'll be back. Okay, we are back. I took the meat out of the pot, and I don't know whether you've ever seen these great little gravy separators. It separates the fat out from the juices, and I used that and separated out my vegetables, got rid of a lot of that grease that was in there. So now I have just some wonderful gravy stock ready to go, and I have heated it up. It's getting ready to heat up there. I'm going to add a little bit of kitchen bouquet, just to give it a little color, just a little beefy color. That's all. About a teaspoon. And I have made a slurry here of a hefty tablespoon of cornstarch and water, and that's going to go in there. And I'm going to stir this up, and it should thicken very quickly within like a minute or so. I don't want a thick gravy, but I want a nice sauce, really, more of a sauce than a thick gravy. And it's, look at this, this is thickening up very nicely. So I'm going to let it boil here a minute or two. I don't know whether you remember the video I did here recently. It said, if you're going to use a cornstarch for a gravy base, you need to let it boil, simmer for a minute or two. And so that's what we're going to do. And once I am ready to serve up some delicious roast beef with a little of this gravy, we will be back. Are you ready to try this?
I am indeed.
Now, my mom, I told you, did your mother used to cook pot roast?
Oh, all the time.
But she didn't use a pressure cooker, did she?
Oh, no.
Yeah, in the oven, or
yeah.
How did you cook it? Well, my mom, you could take the toughest piece of meat, chuck roast or whatever, and put it in that pressure cooker.
And my mom could take the tenderest piece of meat and turn it into, I don't know.
Anyway, so we've got this wonderful roast. We'll show it to you, and we'll take a taste. And I think that I've done my mother proud. We did a lot of pressure cooking back then when I was a kid, and there was a family of 6 of us, and she fed us pretty good. So let me bring you down. We'll show you what we've got, and then we're going to taste it. All right, there's my gravy, my little gravy sauce. See there? We're going to go ahead and cut a piece of this. Oh my.
I don't think you need a knife.
Oh wow, look at that. It's very tender, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, very tender.
Fork tender.
It's fork tender. Okay. So we're going to bring it out for the taste. Bring it out there. Okay. All right. You are the first to go.
Oh, if you insist.
He was growing up a meat and potatoes guy, and I don't think I will ever get them out. Yeah? Oh, it was good. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
How's the gravy?
Delicious.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that is really good.
I can't believe how tender that is.
Yeah, it is tender.
Because the sirloin roast is pretty
it's
tough.
not a tender cut of meat, but that is delicious.
And
very tender.
Very
cut
tender.
it with a fork. The gravy is perfect.
The gravy is really good, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, this was, stuff that we grew up on, and it's just as good today as it was back when we were little kids.
So why are we spending all this time talking about it when we could be eating?
All right. Thanks a lot. I'm going to do my thing here. Got to do my thing. Thanks a lot for watching. Tell your friends, subscribe. There's a little bar down there that says subscribe and a little bell. And if you do that, you will be the first one to know when I've uploaded a video. And tell your friends. I guess that's it.
Bon appetit.
See y'all later. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.